Assalamualaikum and good evening, Tuan Haji. Right, before we start, I would like to introduce our team member. We are from UiTM Shah Alam, students of Master of ICPM or Integrated Construction Project Management under Architecture and Planning Faculty. Okay, me myself, my name is Kasli Zawati, and Alita Faris.
Yeah, my name Faris Daniel bin Mazlan. Okay.
And Aini. Okay, Aini, and another one is Aini
Upside down.
Okay, right.
Okay.
Okay, Aini, boleh kenalkan diri?
She can hear you. She can hear you.
Tak apa, it's okay.
Okay, alright. Okay, tak apalah, kita continue just. Okay, since kita pun dah lewat 2 minit, I will just continue with our interview question nanti. Okay, saya silakan pada Faris dulu.
Okay, for that, let's start with introduction and a little bit of background about yourself. Firstly, can you introduce yourself, your position or your personal background?
Faris kan? Faris
Yeah,
Kasli Zawati, and the other one is Aminah, is it?
Aminatul.
Betul.
Aminatul.
Yeah.
The other one, ada 4 altogether kan? You said 4 just
The other one is in a meeting.
in a meeting, okay. So, to introduce myself, my name is Haji Noriani bin Muhammad Noor. So, I have a degree in civil engineering, a bachelor degree in civil engineering. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Clear.
Age 55, 56 lah, this year 56 already. At this moment, my designation is a Deputy General Manager for QSHE. QSHE meaning that Quality, Safety, Health and Environmental. My previous position is a project manager. My previous I'm handling the project. So I've been in the construction for lost count. It's about 30 years. I think about 30 years. Yes, since 1989.
89.
Before you were born, Faris?
Yeah.
Is it?
Yes.
1989. I started with the infrastructure work, which is kalau you know, is the Plus Highway lah. So one of the package, I think I involved about one package. One package from somewhere at Kedah there, from Gurun to Sungai Petani. That's my first job lah, as a quality engineer at that time. So and then another highway is where is it? Subang, improvement of the Federal Highway, Subang interchange, and then go back to the Plus Highway at package at Taiping. I cannot remember the package, but it's from Taiping to somewhere there lah. So then I move on. I said I want to try different things, so I go to building lah. So go to building. I start with the budget hotel, the Sri Malaysia Hotel dekat Terengganu. I think dekat Marang and Terengganu, Kuala Terengganu. Those days they call budget hotel, but now they change the name to Sri Malaysia. And then I joined TRC. I joined Trans Resources Corporation, also building the budget hotel, the Sri Malaysia Hotel at Ipoh. And from there, so I stay with TRC with many project, building project, infra project, mostly building lah. More building. I built the Maktab Perguruan at Sarawak, and then control tower airport dekat Kota Baru, and then resettlement scheme dekat Kedah, about 600 houses lah ada dekat Sek Kedah, and then Bentong prison, naval base dekat Lumut, what else, of course MRT line 1. And then after that, then I become a head of a department for safety and health. Now I'm the DGM lah. Is it enough? I think enough.
Yeah, okay. So the second one is, can you briefly explain your organization site management structure? Your organization.
Explain what?
Your organization chart. I mean your line of communication between your company.
You're talking about org chart for the project lah, is it? Or for the company?
Yeah, okay.
For the project, is it? For the company, it's too big. Basically, to set up a project team, first of all, we have to look at the contract. What contract requires? Okay. So from there, so we have to set up a team lah. So, but basically, the team on the sizable project, basically we have to have a project manager on site, and then you break down into a few team lah. So of course, the first team should be kalau you go into the bigger team, is the operation team. Operation team consists of CNS with civil and structure, okay, and then we have M&E. Okay, we have architecture if the building work lah. Kalau if not a building work, it's an infra, we don't have architecture team lah. So when we have a support team like QAQC team, we have a contract team, which is QS. We have a safety and health team, and kalau bigger project, depend, we maybe have an interfacing team. Kalau kata surveyor, maybe say part of the CNS team. Basically that one lah. Depend lah, kalau setengah klien they insist more team lah. Kalau bigger project like CNS, maybe they break into several other things, maybe piling team, a launcher, a launching team. So depends on the project. But basically, those are the thing lah, the team.
Okay, basically your role is a project manager, right?
If I am a project manager, my role is a project manager lah.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, what is your characteristic of your being a project manager?
My characteristic.
Yeah.
Okay.
Your character or your roles in the project.
So basically, to become a project manager, because when I started, we did not start straight away as project manager. We started as a site engineer. As I mentioned earlier, I was a quality engineer, QAQC engineer lah, they call it QAQC engineer, then site engineer and whatnot lah. You start from there. So those days, when we have a small project, we have about less than 20 million, they call it site agent. So they drop the engineer there. So you don't feel good lah. You are an engineer, now you become agent. Kalau you tengok those day punya contract, they call you have to have a site agent, not project manager. But site agent is actually act as a leader in that team lah. Okay. So but the size of project is small. It's about less than 20 million, something like that. But for those days, quite big lah. Okay. So project manager also have, but project manager handle a few projects of those size. Okay, ada 20 million, ada 10 million, ada 5 million. So project manager go around and down lah, check. Okay, then as a site agent, maybe you have as I mentioned, the team there is not there lah. You have a team, but it control everything. So the same supervisor is in charge of RC work, same supervisor in charge of M&E, architecture work and whatnot, because it's a small project. So from there, I developed myself lah as a site agent. I have to control the project progress. I have to control the administration, HR and whatnot. Okay. So if we move on, the bigger project 100 over million, so they call it a project manager, but the role is still the same, but in a bigger thing lah. You have to look in the bigger thing. So your character, you have to be, I would say you have to make decision. As per project manager, you have to make a decision. If you do not know how to make decision, you have to find somebody to help you to make decision. Okay.
Can you elaborate more? Sorry, can you elaborate more on examples?
Contohnya, you want to set a team. So what kind of team you want? Okay. Yeah. The contract doesn't say in that detail. Contohnya, you not a surveyor. How many surveyor required? What kind of qualification required? What kind of experience that's very required? Depends on the project. How precise you want that thing. Kan? Ada setengah-setengah project is you have to be very precise. You miss, then the bridge will not meet up at a certain point. Bidding maybe run out a little bit, still within the ROW, still okay. As long as you tak masuk tanah orang lain, it's still acceptable. Okay? So you have that is the team. So then you have to have a technical knowledge. You want to build a building, okay? You have to have an experience, a little bit of experience based on your learning, whatever you're learning in school. So you have to apply. Now you have to apply, okay? Contohnya, talking about, let's say, kalau you're a civil engineer, we're talking about concrete. People ask you what kind of concrete grade are you using. So if you are not a technical people, then you wouldn't know.
Yep.
Right. So then it's planning. What to start first? Then you have to know also. So, of course, when you started as a project manager or a site agent, you do not know. You really not aware of those things lah. So you have to seek for the people help lah. That's why we have a experienced project manager, and you have to discuss with the consultant and also with your team lah. Maybe at those days, supervisor is more experienced than you. Then you have any problem. Kan? You are 30 years or before 30 years, then those supervisor tu maybe dah 40 plus. Tapi dia supervisor, mungkin at that time dia SPM aja. I think you know kan, you guys know SPM kan? CJ Pelajaran Malaysia, or MCE ada kan. So these people ada MCE, ada SPM aja. So they have experience, tapi they don't have a certificate. Sekarang dah ada diploma, dah ada certificate in civil, certificate in MNE, what not lah. Kalau you tak ada degree pun, so at least you have a basic, kan? So that are the thing that you are required to know lah. So as you progressively experience from project to project, then you certain thing is too easy for you already. You know how to handle already. But maybe you have new thing lah, because every project is unique. Every project is unique.
Right.
So because of the project itself, because of the consultant character, because of the client, because of the time frame, because of the location, many things lah. So you experience from there. So you have to develop yourself, and you cannot stay put and using your past experience. You use your past experience as a guide only, not as a really to apply. Okay.
Okay. We move on next. What inspired you to become a project manager?
What inspired me?
Yeah, what inspired you at the first place?
Actually, at that time, nobody inspired me. I do not know. I don't know. I think like you are forced to become a project manager lah. You have no choice.
Oh, you have no choice.
You have no choice.
Yeah, but you have choice to become other positions.
So, okay, let's see. You want to talk about that? So you are in the organization where you are a contractor. Okay. Yeah. So I have all my life I'm a contractor. I work with a contractor. I never work with a consultant. I never work with client. So in contractor organization chart, so I can see clearly now lah. Those days I do not know kan. So from site engineer to site agent to project manager to project director to manager, general manager and whatnot. That is the thing. If you want to stay as a site engineer, umur 30 okay lah. Umur 35 you still a site engineer. So you see, so where are you going?
Yeah.
Nampak tak? Kalau dengan kerajaan, maybe engineer you have a timbalan pengarah di section lah, timbalan pengarah di section. There so many section they have, kan? So in contractor in TRC particularly is that's it. You have to move on. The next step is become project manager. Tambah dulu pula is you don't have a specialist role. Right now mungkin dalam TRC pun ada specialist wing lah. Contohnya dia ada launcher team, dia ada piling team, dia ada M&E. Kan, before this we don't have M&E kan, sekarang ada M&E, so you boleh move. Then we have BIM lah, we have so many apa ni things that we split it lah, kan. So the only going up is to become project manager. But yes, at that time it's not inspired lah. When I see the project manager punya roles, going to meeting, kena hantam dengan klien, those things. So who want to become a project manager? I said better stay as a site engineer lah. Anything we can refer. But by force, when you become site agent. So my project manager, how they trained me at that time, when I have a meeting, he asked me to call a meeting with client. So he is on the way, he's coming, he said. So let's say the meeting is at 10 o'clock. Okay, so I'm waiting for him. I relax. He's coming up, my boss coming. He never show up. So I call him, kata, where are you? Dia kata, you proceed with the meeting, with the client, no. So by force, he teach me by force. So I have to chair the meeting with the client and consultant. Just imagine, I'm not prepared for that. So from there, I have to learn. I said, now whatever meeting, I have to prepare to chair the meeting, because that meeting is meeting with the. I remember meeting with. We are the main contractor. We have a nominated subcontractor, so we have to call a meeting like every month. We have to chair. And client and consultant is there to witness what we how we manage the subcontractor. Okay.
Right. Okay. Okay. We move on to the.
Before we move on, Faris, it's quite interesting. Yep. Okay. Actually, you are being forced, become project manager, being forced as a project manager. But then you still continue. You still continue in the line. Means to say you do not back up. You pursue with that direction and managing the project instead of maybe the next project you will just want to do something else, focus on something else. But mean to say something, maybe it wasn't inspired you to be a project manager, but you decide to continue. Okay, what actually moves you? What drives you to continue as a project manager back then?
Okay, talking about back then, as I said, I have no choice. Okay, really, at that time I have no choice. Now maybe we have a lot of choice lah.
Right.
At that time, because I joined as a contractor, okay, I resigned from one contractor to another contractor. I resigned again and joined another contractor. I see no difference. Between this contractor. My mistake, I didn't join the consultant. I didn't join the client. Maybe client at that time, we don't have so many clients lah. Mostly the client is JKR. I did apply for JKR, but didn't get lah. Okay, didn't get. So by hook by crook I have to stay with this. So my decision at the time, okay, normal I would want to resign because if I keep resign and shift the company, move to the other company, I lose my seniority. That ni lah, more senior lah. You keep jumping kan with 200 extra or 100 extra, you jump to another company. It's no point. So that's why I stay. So I force myself. So actually, I would like to take the challenge lah. Actually, so whatever it is, we have to take the challenge and do it. By mistake ke, by apa we have to do. Kena marah ke, kena maki, and we do. But we learn from there lah. This thing is not teach. We did not learn it from college lah. That kind of experience we never learn from the college. We learn from the college is the technical thing. This is a soft skill lah, and we learn. So the other thing is duit lah, gaji. So you have to, kalau you stay as an engineer, gaji, so you have to more on, you have experience, you move, you being promoted, then ada increment, then you start looking to coach people, So you share your experience with your subordinate, your young engineer. So you feel good at that time. You baru, let's say kata you baru 5 tahun pun you dah ada site engineer under you kan. So you so proud lah. So ask them to go check the piling work lah, do the survey lah, survey thing lah, that kind of thing lah. Okay, I cannot see your face lah. Apa ni? Siapa nama ni? Faizal lah. Faris, sorry.
Faris. Yeah.
Why block by Aminatul?
Or the layout of ni.
Okay.
Okay. Back to the personality. Is a good personality being a requirement for a project manager?
What does you mean by good?
Good personality means have a friendly approach.
What kind of personality that is a good personality for a project manager?
Yeah.
Kalau you talking about kalau you nak interview people to take people as to become a project manager kan, you're not talking about myself kan? I'm not good.
No, I'm talking about in general.
Kalau you want to interview somebody, of course you take good people. Good people meaning that dia tak isap dadah kan?
Yep.
It's good also kan? Ya, ada engineer yang start good, then they involve with other people, minum lah, that kind of thing kan? So it's not good. So dia tak boleh fokus. That is the thing lah. Bukan good tu mana dia handsome kan?
Right.
So kalau talking about good personality, as dia ada komitmen lah. Dia ada komitmen. They want to work. That's why when I interview people, the first thing I ask, are you sure you want to become an engineer lah? Kalau engineer lah, are you sure you want to become a project manager? Are you kan? After they go through a few experience, let's say they have a 1 or 2 years experience, they want to join TRC, our company. So I ask, are you really want to become an engineer? The scenario is like this, you know. Sometimes they are from different company, from different background. They come from consultant. They want to join contractor. So we have to brief them how contractor works. You know, it's totally different lah. So generally have to be. I would say have. Okay, kalau you look at on the technical thing, they have to be knowledgeable lah. They have to be knowledgeable in their field. Kalau dia kata dia knowledgeable in building work, okay fine, then we give him a project manager in a building work. Kalau dia kata infra, what kind of infra? Roadworks, okay, we give you roadworks. Kalau you have both, it's advantage lah, kan? You kata you experience both, so both you maybe ada 20 years experience lah. So if not pun, then you have experience in a certain technical, then it's good enough lah. And then you must be quick decision. You responsive to very very quick lah. And then satu lagi apa? In the soft skill tu you mesti I would say that you are, nak kata friendly pun tak boleh juga. It's like openable, pleasant kan. So people can approach you lah, because you have to work as a team. Kalau your site engineer, your supervisor very afraid to see you, then you cannot resolve many things. They won't tell you, and they try to resolve in by their own, then end up not now or sooner or later they end up delay in progress ke, ada defects ke later, that kind of thing, because they do the wrong thing. So I think that's it lah. I think that is the character that we're looking at.
Yeah, I think the answer for the personality for project manager. Okay, next one is a project manager has to be from a person with a calm or good listener, or even a grumpy or aggressive. He can be also be a project manager as long as he can deliver the job.
Can deliver the job, of course lah, of course.
So,
of course, he can be any character lah. For me, any character. But the important thing is the character, as mentioned before lah. Even though kalau people don't like him pun, he can deliver the job, the task. It's okay je, kan? Tapi people don't like him lah.
Yeah.
People don't like to
Right.
work with him lah,
Right.
kan? So the main objective is what is that you want to achieve lah.
Yeah.
You want to have a perfect project manager as you like. Maybe this company like different project manager, this company like different. This client like this kind of project manager, kan? Selalu keluar makan dengan dia tapi project tak jalan. So client like this project manager but the boss doesn't like this project manager, kan? Okay?
Okay. Is the project manager is point or selected in organization is based on her nature or based on how they can be nurtured?
Based on what? Based on?
Based on nurtured.
Yeah, nature
Okay.
or nurture.
Or nurtured, sorry.
Nature or nurtured? It could be both. Okay. Kalau you naturally you memang born to be a leader, you know, born to be a somebody yang become a leader lah, kan? You are smart. Then maybe you become project manager faster lah, kan? So kalau the other way, sometimes we see people, oh, this one have this potential, but we have to coach him or her more lah, or give guidance, you know, that kind of thing. Maybe instead of 10 years, they need 15 years, but at the end they become project manager juga, no problem. So kita pun bukan semua pandai, kan? Kan ada yang SPM dulu sebelum masuk universiti, kalau saya tanya you pun bukan straight A kot. Angka asli saya, you bukan straight A, tapi I see people yang go to college or go to university before the result came out, also drop out in the college. Before the result keluar, mana dia tu straight A dah, memang dah very smart. Tapi first year or second year dah dia tak fokus and they drop out. So it's okay. Certain people is a slow learner. Alright.
Alright. Next is it important for a project manager to understand themselves and to manage their own strengths and weaknesses before they can manage others?
Oh, strength and weakness. Strength, kalau you ada strength is better lah. Tapi what kind of strength lah? What kind of strength you have? Kan? Weakness tu, of course you have to manage. Sama juga macam your previous question tu, maybe the weakness dia apa? Contohnya apa dia? Dia very difficult to communicate with people. Okay, sama ada you learn through the experience or you go attend the training lah. Okay?
So is it, yeah. So
Kalau
it's important. So it's important for
it is important. You have a strength. Kalau you memang strength, you are memang A student, you have a good character dan sebagainya, you have a knowledge, you quick learner, then you will become a project manager faster. But everybody have a weakness dia, kan? Kan? So the weakness tu you have to tackle lah. So as I said, kalau you kata C student, you grad juga, kan? You bukan 4 flat, you 2.1 boleh grad lah, 2.1. 2.1 C, B satu je, C, D betul. A tak ada langsung, at the end you grad.
Yeah.
So bila kita tengok your result, your interview, so yang A tu minta gaji 3,000. So yang C ni yang 2.0 ni kata, cik bagi 1,500 pun tak apa lah. Okay lah, we take him lah.
Right.
Kan? Kita communicate kan. So we take him, okay, you jadi supervisor dulu lah, kan? Kita panggil assistant engineer ke apa, junior engineer ke whatever lah. Tapi dia learn, dia better. Dia tak kisah masa, dia learn kan. So they overcome the weakness. Kan? So tengok what is the, of course, to become a project manager. To become a project manager, you have to manage your weakness lah. Your strength tu, you boleh buat macam ni. Kalau you punya strength, you know your strength. Sometimes you know your strength. Or kalau you do not know, you ask lah people, kan, what is my strength, kan? So you use your strength to cover your weakness. Kan? So nanti jadi project manager cepat. Kan? Kan, you cover lah, pandai-pandai cover lah. Tapi janganlah weakness tu, the strength tu 20%, weakness 80%. So the weakness tu maybe dah 60% dah. Okay, now it's a time. I try to cover my weakness. I show more of my strength while I'm manage my weakness or to improve my weakness tu jadi strength. To get 100% is no way lah kan. Okay?
Right.
Boleh?
So, boleh. Next, does your organization conduct any trainings or program to promote become a good personality among the staff? I mean, any training or program?
Okay, in our company actually kita bagi chance the staff tu. Kalau you talking about formal training lah, talking about formal training, kita bagi chance for that staff to choose their training. Okay, you can select your training. You can go for your training lah, ada technical training ke, soft skill ke, whatever it is. Because we have objective. Our objective minimum you have to attend 1 day per year minimum. Normally kalau people yang rajin they can go for more lah. So to improve themselves. Then kalau you let's say you ada diploma, then you want to go for degree. Actually you can apply, dan company kita ada yayasan yang akan bayar certain amount lah, I'm not sure, tapi dia ada bayar. So we encourage people to improve themselves lah. From diploma become degree, from certificate become diploma, that kind of thing. They give certain amount of money to improve lah. That is on our formal education. Informal kita coach people lah. So now kita dah create a post like when we have a project manager, we have a deputy project manager or assistant project manager. This is the stage where we start coaching people lah. Okay, we guide. Similarly for other posts also lah, bukan je project manager, like engineer, we have assistant engineer, supervisor, we have assistant supervisor, kan? QS, we have assistant QS. That is panggil on job training lah, boleh lah you nak on job training to improve. So at that time they improve lah themselves. Kalau dia dapat the good coach, then dia boleh move faster lah. Okay?
Alright. Okay. Do you feel a project manager must become from a religious person?
Not religious.
Yeah,
Meaning?
I mean he has a high moral person in terms of
Of course lah, kita tak nak ambil dia kelas semayang pun ambil rasuah juga. Kita tak nak dia ambil rasuah lah.
Yep.
Rasuah ni because it goes back to the you're talking about integrity kan, then nanti quality of work ni betul dia tak fokus, that kind of thing lah. So ini apply to all lah, bukan saja supervisor pun tak boleh juga nanti, giving pun tak boleh, take pun tak boleh lah. Tapi kalau sekarang nak pergi minum teh tarik tu okey lah kan, boleh lah kan. So tapi nak bagi more sampai they change the decision kan. Because normally contractor ni dia kalau talking about rasuah, I think you going to that thing lah. Kalau you talking about giving money tu, actually contractor yang give money to consultant and client. Contractor ni yang ni dia giving. Tapi kalau you look, kita ada, kalau big project kita ada subcon pula give to the main con. So dia macam tu, dia ni je. So we don't start, we don't encourage kan, jangan start.
Right.
Okay?
Right. Clear. Do you feel a project manager must be a likable person?
I think I mentioned tadi kan, I have to be likable kan. Otherwise, how you talking about kata small project pun, at least you have 20 people, 20 of your staff. People don't like you, it's very difficult for you to work. They give you instruction, lepas tu behind you they talk macam-macam about you.
Right.
They don't listen to you. Kan? Especially kalau you ada weakness lah. Kan? You ada weakness, so they use your weakness to kutuk you balik and then don't follow your instruction. So in order to be likable, how to become likable is a soft skill of you lah. I mean you use you punya subordinate punya knowledge to exploit kan. Tu tanya dia balik kan, okay, this is the thing, what do you feel? How do you feel? Kan? In best of your knowledge, can we do like this? Or What is your opinion? That kind of. So kita appreciate dia punya knowledge kan. Jangan kita jadi project manager dan kita nak follow mine kan. As long as dia tak run daripada contract punya requirement and company punya policy lah. Okay. Contohnya company punya policy senang je 8 hingga 5 kerja. Dia kata tak saya nak kerja 5 hingga 8. Mana dia datang petang sampai ke malam. Kita mana boleh kan. Kalau kita 8.5 lah. Tapi kata nak balik awal sikit pukul 4 ni, saya nak balik awal sikit, okay. Esok balik pukul 6. Kan? Something like that lah. Tapi kalau too straight kata tak boleh. 8 hingga 5, datang 5 minit lambat, potong gaji. And then what happen? They don't like you. Kemudian 5 sharp dia balik lah. Kan? Dia kata I don't want to do overtime.
Agree.
So, kalau you little bit flexible, dia pun flexible. Dia pun tak berkira lah kita punya perkataan ni tak berkira lah kan. Sekali lah belanja lah you punya staff dan dia like you lah.
Right. Okay, I think Kas can move on to the next.
Alright, Haji. Next, we are talking about a skill and knowledge of a project manager. Okay. First of all, in your opinion, okay, what is the best age or years of experience before someone can be promoted or become a project manager?
Okay, it's no straight answer lah. I don't think it's a straight answer here. As I said lah, kalau the guy is very smart, dia boleh manage, maybe they can start at the early stage and depends also on the project. Kalau project tu 10 million aja, maybe 5 year pun cukup dah as a site agent or ni kan. Tapi kalau project tu let's say 500 million, put the wrong people, walaupun dia ada 15 years, 20 years experience pun tak boleh juga. So it depends on the projects, depends on type of projects, depend on go back to the character of that person lah. Tapi across the board, I will say have to be about 10 years lah to start tu. Okay, 10 years tu meaning that they work with the construction lah. Jangan dia 10 years experience, dia ada gaps lah. Dia kerja 2 tahun, lepas tu dia jual burger setahun, lepas tu dia masuk dia just sentam dia kata I have 10 years. Tapi in between tu dia bawa Grab dan sebagainya, macam ada pilot sekarang ni tak ada kerja jual bawa Grab kan. So itu tak boleh kira. So they have a solid 10 years experience in that field, in the construction field. Ada engineer dia buat sales, be careful. Dia buat sales kan, dia bekerja dengan supplier, dia promote thing lah, scaffolding lah, dia engineer. Tapi dia chain tu dia kata I have 10 years experience. Or maybe they take care of one project, big project. I have interviewed one person before, dia buat KLCC. Very good, KLCC. Bila kita interview, that's why the purpose of interview tu, you nak tanya dia, you buat KLCC, you buat bahagian mana? Kan? KLCC itu more than 10 years punya projek tu. Dia buat dah KLCC nak habis, dia buat long term perimeter drain. Dia in charge of course, besar lah value dia, babi. Kan? Betul kan? Baru ni pada my friend, konsultan. Dia buat Penang Bridge, second Penang Bridge. Hebat kan? Wah, hebat. Tanya-tanya dia buat tol je, rumah tol. Tol plaza je. So be careful. So the experience tu mesti relevant experience lah. Okay? Jangan kata pukul 10 years, okay. 20 years pun buat longkang ni, macam mana nak handle ni? Oh, maybe 20 years tak pernah buat high rise. Or 20 years dia buat jalan je all this while. Or dia involved in sewerage saja. Depends. Okay? So 10 years is good lah for me. Is reasonable. Okay?
Okay, Haji. What do you think or your opinions on regarding latest CIDB directions, whereby all the managers for the construction required a certification? What do you feel about this? It's really but if this enforcement suits the industry?
Okay, I heard about this one quite some time that CIDB is like whoever want to become project manager, whoever want to become a plasterer lah, whatever, from the general workers to the ni lah. So that means you have to take a test, something like that lah, to qualify you as a project manager and then become competent. Tapi I tak pernah tengok modul dia, I tak pernah join sampai I dah tak become project manager. So nobody come and check, CDB pun tak ada come and check. So actually I do not know what is their module lah. Tapi kalau dia nak buat to make sure that whoever become a project manager have a certificate, extra certificate from your degree, as a computer misalnya I support. It's good. Maybe dia ada module yang dia teach you every skill lah. You're talking about how to manage people lah, soft skill lah, how to handle client lah, that kind of thing. So it's good. Tapi kita nak tengok module dia dulu. And then he has to apply throughout the country lah. Jangan bias. CIDB ni sorry to say, CIDB ada anak-anak sini. Sometimes dia ada bias kan, dia only choosy lah, dia choose this project, dia choose that project. So tak boleh. So kalau dia betul-betul serius kan, they want to, macam saya say tadi, is we have to be fair lah. Kalau you see student lah, kita call student 2 point something average compared to 3.99 punya student kan. So kat mana lagi dia nak gain knowledge? Dia nak bagi equivalent during kerja ni. So kalau ada design competency, okay, dia kerja 2 tahun 3 tahun, okay, now I want to become project manager. So CIDB is offering me competency certificate. Really go and teach me. So I go and teach. So now I have the certificate compared to those 3.99 tu yang tak ada certificate. So I'm better sikit lah pada dia at least. Kan? We're talking about the same age, same experience. So it's good kan? Dia nak pergi ambil master dah tak ada duit lah, tak boleh nak belajar lah kan. Lagipun kadang you ambil course-course yang ni, you ada technical knowledge tapi soft skill-nya ada thing tu you tak belajar. Tapi kalau macam CIDB offer tu, kalau betul dia punya modul tu, then it's good for me, it's good. Have you seen the thing? Or have you go and see anybody of you? I don't know. Actually, I don't know. I don't pay attention to this.
Yeah, actually we are yet to go into that extent because anyhow we are taking master, no more
Okay.
certificate.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah, Mr. Student. Okay. But then if that is really being materialized, in your opinions, from the point of view of the organization, is it going to change the way of organizations look in their approach to getting a project manager? The organization thinks that this certification is still required, or the organization will still look into the possibility of potential that you mentioned just now. We're talking about experience, sort like that.
No. Kalau CIDB make it as a rules, kan? They make it as a rule. Because there is the authority kan, the government body yang authorized to do that. So as I say, kalau nak make, seriously make lah. Seriously. Apply to all. Jangan mencuzi ini buat ke dan tak buat kan. So of course you have to have a period lah. You kata hari ni you nak buat, tak boleh lah immediately you nak apply immediately. So you kata 5 years. So the existing one yang tua-tua ni tak payah nak pencen 5 years tak payah dah. Okay. Pertama CIDP pun mesti ada trainer. Siapa trainer dia? Dia could have the module from the code. Kadang dia combine. Kadang saya pun join juga ni, dia ada komiti dia. Dia ambil daripada universiti punya professor, dia ambil from the industry players kan, consultants semua, dia combine, dia come up with a module. When they come up with a module, who is the trainer? Kan? So the person nak train tu cukup dah. Kan? You kata sekarang saya tak tahu kalau you guys ada study how many project manager in the country kan. So dia nak buat dalam masa sesingkat susah. So they have a long term program. Do it lah, it's okay. And then really apply. Whoever nak become project manager, you cannot become project manager without the certificate. Otherwise they will penalize you. Senang je pasal CIDB, kita bayar levy dan sebagainya. So kita ada green card, CIDB green card. So green card dia apply. So kita kata berjaya lah benda tu. Sama ada berjaya dia collect duit atau dia berjaya implement benda tu, I'm not sure. One or another dia berjaya kan. So they can go to the next step lah. He says project manager with a competency certificate. So in order to get a competency certificate, you must have a degree in what? That is the criteria. But you have to attend how many days of course, what module dan sebagainya. Dan lepas you dapat tu, how long experience, then how they refresh you ke, how they check you punya apa ni, your experience after you get the competency kan. So that kind of thing. Because I said okay, because kalau you see the safety safety also have competency. You can have a macam-macam degree qualification. You want to become a safety health officer, you have a competency certificate kan. You have to go a course, 1 month something like that, and you have to pass a test. So you become competent. Orang lain boleh buat, kenapa ini tak boleh buat? Okay je, boleh buat. Okay?
Okay, so actually you already answered my next question. So I'm going to pass the questions about duration. How long you think that duration is suitable for us to enforce this in Malaysia? Okay, then I go to next the question. It's about personally about you yourself in your experience in construction. Okay, can you share a bit on your achievement? You are talking about soft skill, hard skill, on the competency. Maybe you can share a bit from your own experience. What are the achievements that you have made as an outcome from the skills that you mentioned just now? Maybe some particular examples or any project?
Basically, you need a little bit of luck also lah. You need a little bit of luck. Of course, you have to have a qualification lah, kan? Kalau tengok degree saya pun, you tak payah tengok lah kan. Sekarang orang tak tengok kan. Orang you dah kerja, people tak tengok. Kalau tengok, bukanlah pandai sangat kan. So don't worry about that one. As long you have a degree. So you dapat 2 ke 3 doesn't matter. So you have to experience it. Sebenarnya is a blessing lah kalau you tak score, you tak belagak kan. So you have to fight for those yang score kan, you takut kan. So you have to learn more. So those maksud earlier when I'm a site agent tu saya terlalu fokus on the, you call it apa tadi, soft skill dengan hard skill. Dia ada wujud hard skill. Saya pun tak sure tu. Okay. Skill ni something like a degree lah. You have a degree, you have a kan soft skill ni.
Technical knowledge.
Tak boleh nak measure lah knowledge semua tu kan. Very difficult to measure. So those saya ingat lagi bila saya kerja tu saya terlalu fokus on the hard skill lah. Maknanya I don't care about other thing. I want to care is I want to complete this project. Kalau cakap dengan orang pergi minum pun talking about progress, talking about how to settle ni. So jadi apa? Jadi boring kan? Jadi boring. People you ajak orang makan, people tak nak. People tak nak. So otherwise I don't talk. So I'm not friendly. Kan? I'm not friendly. I just talk about the work. Work saja. So then you have to change lah, tengok pasal ni. And then you only talk to you punya you punya staff saja. Meeting talk project ni. And then you like assume consultant buat kerja dia lah. You buat kerja you lah. We talk only during meeting. Meeting of course you talk about kerja aja lah. Betul, habis keluar meeting, you masuk office you, I masuk office I. So tak jadilah. And then I learn lagi because I involved in the design and build. Dulu tak panggil design and build, dulu panggil apa ni turnkey project. Turnkey lah, saya tak tahu lah. Turnkey project maknanya you design and you build the project. So that is good experience because saya tak design tapi we have to submit to the authorities. We have to submit. We have to have the consultant to submit because consultant report to us, we submit. So we have to deal with a lot of authorities. So sorry to say, authorities ni you kena entertain dia banyak lah untuk dapat the result. So you dah develop punya skill little bit lah. So pada masa tu gaji you tak banyak. You nak entertain orang macam mana? Kan? So cakap dengan bos, when you talk to bos, dia bagi you duit. Mana dia benarkan. So the process tu you learn from there lah. Saya rasa dekat college, dekat universiti dia tak ajar kok benda-benda macam tu. Kan? Ataupun ada special course, I'm not sure, but my time tak adalah course-course macam tu. Sekarang mungkin dia kena wujudkan course-course soft skill ni yang so how to manage people or something like that. Time management tu ada kan, time management kalau tak ada dekat college pun dia ada dekat mana-mana luar. Manage people saya tak tahu. how to manage people kan, different people how you manage lah. So you're talking about hard skill. Hard skill pun sebenarnya kalau talking about you punya qualification, it doesn't stop there kan. You masih continue. That's why you have training. Macam saya kata tadi, kalau you ada certificate, you go for degree. Kalau you degree, you go for master. It doesn't stop ya. Kalau you betul-betul cekal, you boleh buat weekend, you go ahead buat. Tak ada masalah to improve your skill. It's better because you kerja, then you buat, and then you do the part time tu, is better. Tapi saya tak berkemampuan macam tu lah. Especially when I have family lah, tak sempat. That's why saya kata tadi, saya ada sebut tadi, use your strength lah. So when I learn, so ada yang projek-projek yang maybe saya use that kind of strength tu untuk show off lah. Bila kata show off, tunjuk kat bawah lah, kata I can do this. So yang kita punya weakness, kita tak tepi bagi orang lain buat. Tapi weakness lah, kita kata weakness, kita tak pandai benda ni. So contohnya kita tak pandai in term of technical thing. So you get help lah kan, you get help, okay. One benda tu settle, you pun dapat kredit sikit actually. You ada kredit because you manage the thing. That's a call project manager tu. You tak boleh ni, tapi you have to let people know. Contohnya, saya civil, saya tak tahu M&E. Saya kata, we have to have a M&E engineer lah. Kan, untuk assist us. So, okay, setuju. Ambil M&E engineer. Kan, benda macam tu lah. Kita tak ada contohnya administration punya people untuk help us to, because it's project, you have to buat administration also kan, HR semua ni. So get somebody to help you. So you tak ajar dia pun, lama-lama you akan tahulah. So you have to communicate with the HQ, tengok HQ nak macam mana. Then you get the ball rolling lah, you ajar dia macam mana kan. So you macam in control jugalah. So it's learned by the experience. So kalau projek tu berjaya, maknanya berjaya lah. Projek tu berjaya macam mana? Apa yang diklasifikasikan sebagai projek berjaya? Pasal I'm talking about projek aja kan. Is complete in time, ataupun kalau ada extension pun within approval punya time lah kan. And project make money lah.
Yeah.
Kan, project make money. Kalau projek tak buat duit tu susah sikit lah. Pasal kadang dia blame project manager pasal tak buat duit. Tapi if you can prove kita follow semua the instruction semua, it's not our fault lah, it's a team punya fault. It's okay je kan. Tapi dalam TRC ni saya rasa tak pernah ada satu projek yang tak buat duit lah. Cuma banyaknya sikit saja. Banyaknya sikit saja. Dulu saya pun sekarang dah insaf. Dulu saya pernah menipu jugalah untuk buat duit. Boleh cerita dah ni. Satu projek saya dekat Kedah lah projek tu. Projek tu is masa tu zaman tak berapa elok. So bila final account tu we are losing about 4 million. So based on my experience on the accounting lah, saya tak tahu bos punya figure pasal saya tak tahu dia punya ni. So bos kata, can we do something to it's not 4 million lah, 3 something lah. Can we do something to break even? Dia kata, kalau break even kita cantik lah kata. So saya modify sikit the claim. Final claim tu saya modify sikit lah kan. Tak banyak lah, 3 juta je. Projek tu 68 million. 68 million, bos kata nak 72 million to break even. Kan? So because I do that, saya tak tahu, saya manage to do that lah. Saya tak tahu konsultan pun terpedaya kan saya. So memang terlepas, memang dapat. Pasal actually tak tipu sangat because konsultan tak nak bayar on certain thing. Pada masa tu dia tak bayar. Dia tak bayar meaning that kalau you technical saya beritahu lah, dia tanah tu dia hard. So it's not rock but it's not earth. Faham tak? It's not rock, tapi you correct pakai normal excavator, dia tak jadi. Dia tak jadi. So you have to You have to bring in the machine to scrap gitu. You garu dulu bagi pecah-pecah, dia macam shell, pecah. Dia tak terang sangat. And then baru boleh excavate. So you have to spend on the machinery and time. Cost kat situ. So bila kita submit klien, dia reject. Itu it's not it's your method. So saya masuk balik yang tu je. Macam mana saya masuk balik? Ini kena PM tepi. You have to PM tepi lah, tapi pasal you record. Okay, maknanya bukanlah saya tipu apa, maknanya kita kata hak kita masuk. Kita pun tak mau untung, kita kata kita nak claim machinery. It's about 4 month juga tu. 4 month untuk ni pasal dia tak batu. So definition and spec is not clear kan. Then a few other thing lah yang make up to 4 million. So managed to get 4 million. But unfortunately, untuk close the final account take so many years. I think about tak boleh nak close because benda tu is kementerian tu dia sit on it because dia dah tukar KP dia tukar, KP dia tengok pasal more than the contract value, dia sit on it. Sampai our Tan Sri lah have to go with me dengan consultant yang saya tu lah, yang saya dia pun dia support. Dia have to explain to Mara. Tapi tak ada explain apa-apa. Bila pergi situ, sit down dengan Tan Sri apa semua, saya, dia, KP tu, Tan Sri, saya dengan konsultan seorang je. Pergi sembang-sembang je, tak ada apa pun. Sembang-sembang, dia kata okay, I'll go into this kan. Lepas keluar tu saya kena marah dengan Tan Sri. bukan diterima kasih, kena marah. Dia kata, benda kecil macam ni pun kawan tak boleh handle. So dia tak tahu story dia. So I dah handle benda tu, tapi dia tak tahu story kan. Saya pun tak brief dia lah, masa tu kita bukan ni sangat dengan bos kita kan. So tak apalah, at least we achieve lah. Kita dapat final, I think 1 week or 2 week after that dah keluar check lah. So at least projek tu dia kata tak break even, dia kata break even lah, tapi actually saya rasa untung lah. Okay. So,
that's a very
answer the question. I also dah forget. Apa you punya question ni?
Achievement, yes. That's a big achievement actually. To help the company to break even. Yalah, nak kata tipu tak tipu, definition might be different from different person lah. Yes. But me to say, you demonstrate that you at your knowledge, your best knowledge, you try to make it work. So that's an achievement lah. And then
I have to belong to the company lah. I have to help the company.
Yeah, exactly. So that's the answer lah. We are looking for achievement apa yang kita dapat kan berdasarkan pengalaman. Kalau tak ada pengalaman, mungkin Haji pun tak terfikir nak buat macam tu kan. And then mungkin tak ada skill pun mungkin tak dapat juga nak ke arah sampai level Tan Sri nak jumpa dengan KP semua. Kalau tak ada skill kan. Okay, then since Haji sebut cakap pasal contract, pasal payment. So mean to say it's related to the contract and commercial punya skills. At first saya nak tanya, does it required? Tapi Haji dah automatically dah jawab. Maknanya contract manager, project manager kena tahu tentang contract. But then maybe Haji boleh explain a bit. What happen if a project manager, they don't have the skills or knowledge on contract? From your point of view.
Okay, kalau you tengok kontrak, saya pun tak berapa faham kontrak. So dia kalau you tengok dia ada JKR punya kontrak, dia ada dia panggil apa yang architecture punya bind kontrak kan. Dia kan ada few lah kalau you belajar kontrak. Saya tak belajar kontrak. So ada few kontrak. But it's good kalau you tahu lah. It's advantage lah. Tapi kalau you tak tahu langsung pun tak boleh, cannot. Okay? So tapi you have to know your contract for your project. Kan? So in order to know your punya contract for your project, you have to read lah contract dia tu. When you dapat project tu, they have a contract, so you just read the contract lah. Setengah tu kalau you dah biasa dengan project kan, you dah faham dah, kadang-kadang you dah tahu dah dia punya contract tu macam tu aja. Dia ada form of contract dia tu yang standard aja. So you faham. Tapi for me as a project manager, you kena pandai. That's why you have the team. You have the contract team. So you kena read sikit, you faham bila you cakap the language of the contract. Itu request. So dia pun takut kat you. Sebenarnya you tahu, you sebut lah clause 43 ke apa ke, dan dia lemak. Kan? So you have to know that clause bila dia cakap. You don't have to master pun. Kan? Nak cakap about extension contract, clause 43. Kan? Cakap orang ni, you work close ni. So, dia pun takutlah bos dia tahu daripada dia. Betul dia tu advise the boss. Kan? I mention kat you the OCHAR kan, the contract. So, I can advise the project manager. We have the team. The KOKC, advise in terms of the specification. MAD, advise macam ni. So, we have the team tu. So, tapi project manager have to play their role. It's advantage for you to know. Kan? Tapi, basic thing, drawing is a contract. BQ is a contract. So you have to know your scope. You have to know, to understand the BQ tu lah. You read the BQ kan, you know, then you know, this is my scope of the project you nak buat. Jangan baca title saja, kan? Contohnya title dia apa? Membina dan menyiapkan sekolah kebangsaan ni berapa tingkat, mengenai berapa tingkat macam tu je, kan? Tapi you have to read lah the BQ tu. Bukan suruh hafal. Mana you understand, ada scope ni, ada scope ni, ada scope ni. Kan? So basically itu saja, kena pandai lah. Betul? Betul tak betul?
Okay, right. And then in your words saja, what is your definitions on effective communication?
Defective
Communication. What is your
effective communication? Effective lah.
Effective. What is your definition? What you call as a then only
that mean kalau kita kata, okay, sekarang kita cakap about communication dululah. What is communication lah kan, before nak jadi efektif tu. So communication, kalau kita kata biasa-biasa ni is kita bercakap lah, is communication. When you talk from one person to one person, you communicate kan, Tapi sekarang ni communication tu lebih besar kan. Ini WhatsApp is communication. Email is communication. So sekarang orang tak nak email dah, orang WhatsApp dah. Lebih cepat. Okay, so you bercakap pula macam mana? You bercakap kat kedai kopi pun communication. You bercakap dalam meeting room pun communication. Okay, so kenapa people have a meeting, formal meeting? Because dia kata itu lebih efektif kan? So dia kata this is effective way of communication. That's why kita ada meeting, whatever meeting lah. Kalau you cakap kat kedai kopi tu, dia consider informal. Nanti dia kata ini cakap-cakap saja tapi tak confirm. Sedangkan kita confirm. Kita kata you go and do this thing dekat kedai kopi sambil minum, kita buat informal, kita nak lebih relax kan. Tapi dia kata bos tadi cakap kedai kopi je ni tak betul. Tak betul. So tak jadi. So dia kata tak efektif. So lain kali tak cakap. Tapi you have to make clear. Okay, setengah pula communication dia kata without letter, without black and white, I tak terima. Right. Itu pun one way of communication juga kan? You communicate, you tulis surat, baru dia terima. Ini berlaku kan? So we have to make it black and white, baru dia consider as you really communicate well. So for me, kalau you kata efektif, yes. Saya pun prefer black and white. So black and white pun boleh jadi dalam surat, boleh jadi dalam minutes of meeting because it's recorded. Kalau you cakap like that, so you communicate in term of talking aja, you nak proof balik susah. You faham tak? You cakap lain, dia faham lain. Kan? Itu berlaku lah, itu selalu berlaku. You punya kefahaman yang you bagi dengan apa yang dia terima is different. So kalau you tulis, kecuali dia tak faham bahasa, dia tulis English, dia tak faham English, itu problem jugalah. So language barrier pula. Dan tak faham English, you lukis lah. That's why kita ada construction drawing. You lukis. Boleh, it's all communication juga. You lukis kan, lebih senang faham. Kalau you tengok WhatsApp, dia panggil apa tu? Yang gambar-gambar orang tu panggil apa?
GIF.
Emoji? Emoticon?
Whatever it is lah. Dia tak perlu, dia angkat tangan macam tu pun you faham dah.
Stiker.
Yes.
Dia angkat macam tu pun you faham dah. Dia tak payah tulis pun. That is communication. Kadang macam mana orang yang sign language tu buat. So kalau you takkan efektif, for me depends lah. Setengah orang kalau you understand your style, you cakap, dia faham, dia buat, that is effective already. Tapi setengah orang nak black and white, okay, black and white. Setengah orang kata, you email saya seminggu sekali read email, tu tak efektif walaupun bertulis kan, walaupun elektronik. Dia kata you WhatsApp lah, malam-malam saya boleh tengok, okay WhatsApp lah. So different people maybe different way. You tak boleh assume, saya hantar surat, you mesti baca. So setengah orang baca, tajuk macam orang baca paper, dia baca tajuk je. Lepas tu dia faham lain. Okay?
Okay, kalau dalam communication breakdown tadi, normally based on your experience, apa agak-agaknya punca communication breakdown ni? Lain pada language barrier yang Haji sebutkan tadi lah.
Yeah, basically kalau tak salah saya, okay, kalau communication breakdown tadi, I mean saya dah sebut tadi lah kan, different people is different lah. Kalau you talking about satu language, okay, language tu lah. Kadang kalau dengan Cina pun kalau yang tua-tua tu pun kalau kita cakap pun dia tak faham kan. So is language. So language is one thing lah. Tak faham lukis lah. Okay, lepas tu you have to repeat. Benda tu jangan jemu untuk repeat. Maknanya you jangan kata saya dah cakap. Saya cakap sekali sahaja kan. So dia kadang you tengok yes kena repeat 2-3 kali ke, repeat untuk cakap, lepas tu repeat tulis surat kan, lepas tu repeat dalam WhatsApp, it's okay repeat. Tapi kadang-kadang you tengok juga, saya pun experience juga, WhatsApp ni kadang kalau you buka ada 100 WhatsApp, you baca tak? Kadang you terlepas juga kan WhatsApp kan, you terlepas. So be careful lah yang tu. So that's why kena lepas ada dalam group, PM pula tepi. Group is general, setengah orang baca kan. Saya pun miss, kadang email pun miss. Pasal you klik dulu, you klik tiba-tiba yang tengok tajuk lain lebih interesting, you klik pula. Yang ni dah terlepas dah. It happen kan, you tengok you klik yang ni baru nak baca, ada attachment lah, teman nanti dululah. Tengok tajuk lain pula, oh ini interesting ni. Dia kata you have won 1 million. So you klik yang tu dulu. So yang tadi dah terlupa dah kan. So you have to repeat balik. We have to PM tepi dan sebagainya. Kalau that is very important. Because it's good nowadays. Kalau you tengok zaman saya sebelum WhatsApp dulu, saya kadang sampai tidur, saya stres kan. Saya tidur pakai buku 35. Buku 35 saya kat tepi. So whatever I remember dan saya nak cakap esok, saya tulis. Dulu tulis. Buku ni sentiasa ada dalam poket, buku 35 tu. You tahu lah buku 35? You tak faham pula.
Buku kecil.
Buku kecil.
Buku kecil.
Sempat.
Ada dua. Satu buku tu, satu adalah buku nombor telefon. Dulu tak ada handphone nak simpan nombor telefon. But it good, we remember quite a number of phone number. We remember. Sekarang nombor sendiri pun tak ingat. Okay, so buku tu saya tulis. Bila teringat je tulis. So kita tahu apa nak cakap. Sekarang tak dah. Sekarang kalau dia tulis pun, dia tulis dalam telefon. Ada notes kan dalam telefon tu. Saya tak tahu telefon saya ni ada tak tahu. Saya tak tahu pakai ke tak ada. Saya tak tahu. Tapi you WhatsApp, you boleh WhatsApp. Tengah malam pun you boleh WhatsApp dulu. So people bangun pagi dia tahu. So shouldn't be any I think dah minimize dah communication breakdown. Cuma you nak choose which one aja. How to communicate. Term tu sepatut dah makin berkurang, dah sepatut pupus lah kot. Okay?
Tapi kalau kata happen to be information tu masih lagi missing in between transmission. Okay, in your opinion Haji, is it because of their own limitation, pemahaman ke ataupun tak tercapai di akalnya ke, atau because they are just being deceptive? Dia memang tak nak terima information tu.
Dia happen. Dia happen. Ada setengah orang memang perangai macam tu kan. Dia tak nak terima lah. So tak nak terima tu jangan salahkan dia. Salahkan kita dulu kan. Kenapa dia tak nak terima my instruction? Kan? Contohnya saya civil. I'm talking about MNE contohnya. Dia tak mau dengar. You bukan MNE people. Because saya kena marah projek MRT. So to tell you lah, projek MRT dia ada MNE team dia. Team dia panggil PDP tu, dia ada team dia own team. Kalau arkitek, dia ada arkitek team dengan kontraktor punya team. Dia macam tu kan. Kalau interfacing, dia ada team dia dengan ni. Dia one by one macam tu. So dalam meeting, bila arkitek cakap, saya komen. saya jahat. Saya go and comment. Dia kata, Haji, you shut up. Dalam meeting, you shut up. Dia kata, it's not you punya need to comment. Sebenarnya yang komen tu, kita komen based on our experience. Kita punya komen tu based on our experience. Kita tahu ini tak betul. Kita tahu ni. Tapi dia tak nak terima because you are not architect. they listen to my architect manager. So lepas tu baru saya learn. Itu dah umur, dah tua dah tu, dah 50 umur dah. Baru saya, oh okay, I have to respect people. I have to respect because dia ada qualification itu. So itu you kena jaga. So mungkin salah satu itu kalau orang tak terima. So we have to discuss lah. Atau mungkin I think ada satu dua tu memang perangai jenis don't want to accept tu. So we have to treat them differently lah. Ataupun there is not loss in transmission lah. The individual tu you have to treat separately lah. Kadang macam saya kata tadi lah, you bagi message, it happen to us lah, you bagi message tu waktu maghrib, you expect tu saya nak answer, saya tak answer lah, saya boleh insya pun saya tengok. Kalau saya tengok pun, kalau saya nak answer tu mengganggu tidur saya tak nak lah. Saya nak kena buka laptop nak ni, I don't want kan. So then happen tu esok pagi lupa pula. You dah klik tu, you dah lupa dah kan, dah blue tick to the others, tapi you lupa. So boleh berlaku. So remind balik lah, itu je, follow up and remind balik. Okay.
Jay, what do you think about a manager, a project manager who is a control freak? Nak control, semua nak buat sendiri, tak nak delegate dekat orang sebab tak nak orang lebih pandai daripada dia. You want to, yelah, everything dia nak dengan tangan dia je, report only to him, dia yang keluarkan decisions or arahan, everything dia nak control seorang-seorang. What do you think about this kind of manager?
It's not a good project manager. It's not a good manager actually. Good manager ni, project manager, dia kena coach. Dia kena coach people kan, train people. And why dia nak pening-pening kepala? They have to delegate certain thing to them, tapi dia control kan. You lepaskan layang-layang tu tapi tali dia you masih pegang. Okay, so boy, you control, jangan lepas terus. That's why that is your strength lah. Kalau you boleh control dia, you delegate the thing, so you in control of that thing, okay. Tapi you tak nak ajar dia, you ketekut ilmu, it's macam, it's not advantage to you, because in order for you to panggil apa, to move on, to being promoted ke apa ke, you have to have somebody to replace you. So in order somebody to replace you kan, you have to train them. So dia you naik, ganti. Kan bos tanya, I nak promote you tapi siapa ganti tempat you?
Right.
Okay, so tak ada. Then you stay at that position. So kalau dalam Trans-Resource Corporation ni, dia ada, kalau engineer dia ada E6 tak salah, E6, E5, yang lower sekali E6 lah, yang tinggi sekali E1. So you kalau E3, you nak jadi E2, mesti ada somebody ganti you dekat E3 tu. Kan? So baru you boleh, bos, dah ada orang ganti saya. Ada 3 orang lagi. So takkan saya pun E3 juga, so saya kena naik E2 dah. Kan? Nampak tak?
Right.
So jangan kedekut ilmu lah actually.
Yeah, actually next we'll be talking about challenges of a project manager ataupun construction manager, let's say. Okay, sekarang ni zaman COVID-19 menambahkan lagi kerja-kerja project manager yang nak risau tentang SOP, nak preparation of the site, menambah lagi concern-concern yang ada dekat site. Okay, adakah rasa pada pendapat Raja, adakah pandemik ni memberikan impact kepada project manager tu dari segi kerja asasi yang asalnya?
So, how you look into it lah. Kalau you look at this thing as a negative, it bukan negatif lah. Kalau you look at the benefit as a positive, dia bukan positif. Tapi don't get positive COVID lah. Okay. You have to get negative yang ni. Okay. Yang ni semua on look for negative, on don't look for positive. Okay. Kalau you look into be positive, be positive tapi don't get the positive. Kita kata umur you guys apa, umur 30 ke, muda-muda kan ni, 30, 35 macam tu, 30. 10 tahun lagi, 15 tahun lagi kan, you akan bagi tahu ke you punya budak-budak you, kata dulu pada tahun 2020 kan. Betul, benda ni bukan berlaku selalu kan. 100 of years dia akan berlaku sekali je. So we have this kind of thing, then how we handle this thing. Proudly boleh tell them how many million mati dekat dunia ni, semua dunia involved, how we handle pada masa semua pakai mask, boleh tunjuk gambar apa kan, sekarang ada gambar kan. So you be proud kan.
Right.
Kan you be proud kata I handle. So yang tu bila you buat macam tu, you kata okay, future ni I tahu apa I nak cerita. Because yang ni saya cakap ni because sama juga. Contohnya kalau you buat something yang state of art punya projek lah, ataupun you kata you building the KLCC lah. KLCC tahun bila, lama dulu. So sekarang kalau orang tu dah retired bawa cucu dia, ini atuk lah yang buat. Walaupun dia buat longkang lah. Okay, airport dia lah buat tahun 1998 kan. I'm involved in this semua. So dia proud lah. Dia tahu kalau ini ada problem, ini bawah ni maknanya crack ni. Macam saya buat penjara Bentong tu, saya tahu apa problem penjara tu. So tapi penjara tu bukan orang kenal pun, tu tak ada nak proud. Tapi kalau orang buat highway, buat MRT kan, later dia tahu ni MRT ni macam ni. So something to positively yang benda yang you nak look in the head. So okay, now currently how to handle, memanglah pening sikit. But it's experience for you and for everybody, bukan you saja. This one pandemic to the whole world kan. So it's a problem for all to handle. So even though the procedure tu kita improve, tapi the kata kita tengok dalam Malaysia, the increasing in the positive punya cases tu bertambah. So what went wrong is not our fault kan. We have to take care lah. Yes, kalau tak pandemik pun mungkin ada isu lain pula. Banjir pun ada isu juga. Kita mungkin tak ada, kita pernah tak experience, tapi mungkin kalau kita sekarang ni projek kita dekat Kelantan ke, dan we are facing that one pula. So benda kita dah buat, air hanyut, macam mana kita nak claim? Mungkin kita experience. So kalau orang datang cerita benda tu kat kita, orang tu dah kami dulu buat projek sampai sini dah banjir rumah. So dia experience benda tu. So kita mungkin jealous, oh lah aku tak ada experience benda tu. Sekarang kita experience benda tu, kita take it as positively, kita experience dan handle as it is lah. Handle macam mana sepatutnya kita handle. Okay?
Okay, tadi aja juga ada sebut pasal state of the art for building kan. Okay, now talking about dunia sekarang, construction kita is towards the technology already, which is IR 4.0, Industrial Revolution, which is dah ada robotic, automations, drone tu dah dated sangat lah. Ada BIM kan, Internet of Things. So in your opinion kan, how will a project manager yang sedia ada sekarang ni able to survive and catch up with all these new things of technology in the construction?
Okay, itu senang je. Kalau talking about myself, saya dah okay lah, saya tak mau dah. Saya telefon pun boleh WhatsApp, boleh call, cukup lah kan. Video-video pun tak tengok. So tapi for those yang nak learn, ada pun orang tua-tua yang dia nak tahu, go ahead lah, learn. It's advantage to them. Tapi you benda tu you have to utilize, you have to use that thing. Pasal benda ni baru is help you to do whatever your works it is kan. Whatever your works, you can use these tools to help. So by whatever means, yes, kalau you nak pergi belajar, you go ahead belajar, tak ada masalah. Kalau you tak boleh, as I said before, hire people yang tahu untuk help you to do kan. Kalau semua you nak buat, you tak delegate. So orang ni tak ada kerja, you dah tahu. Projek manager saya tahu semua. So instead ada 50 orang dalam projek tu, dia ada 10 orang aja. Dia buat semua. So you know saja tak apa, tapi somebody else to do. You have a knowledge kan. R414 ke BIM ke whatever it is lah kan. Dulu talking about apa ni green building lah, apa semua ni kan. So macam-macam lah. So whatever policy by government tu ataupun the contract says whatever we have to do lah. Dulu saya kalau work program tu, kalau saya remember dulu pakai, at first kita pakai Excel. Lepas tu pakai Microsoft Project kan. Lepas tu tak terkejar lah Primavera pula. Lepas tu Primavera 6 pula. Tapi kalau you print out nampak sama je, saya tengok. You buh color lebih sikit and it look the same. Kalau projek tu delay lah you pakai projek Primavera ke, you pakai BIM ke, delay is delay. I remember macam projek MRT tu, saya pun nak tergelak. So many coordination because of architecture, dengan MNE, dengan apa ni dia panggil apa tu, apa ni, sistem lah, sistem punya tu kan, dia elektronik sistem lah, gedebak-gedebuk semua tu. Dia punya MNE room tu, kalau you masuk MRT punya station tu, kat depan tu cantik, kat belakang tu macam-macam MNE room. Tak cantik pun, macam arkitek don't care buat dari belakang tu, yang dekat lobby tu cantik. So many connection, tapi at the end ada hacking juga. That's why I don't understand. You spend so much money, you coordinate, you need semua, okay, this one have to be at this level, at that level. Tiba-tiba ada water pipe di atas kabel. So which not supposed to be tu, according to law tak boleh macam tu. So gimana? Ada benda-benda tiba-tiba tak cukup opening, kena hack lagi. So saya kata macam buat sekolah macam tu kita buat dulu, no coordination kan. You do the school kan, buat sekolah tu, college ke apa ke yang murah-murah ni, orang Batak buat Batak apa tu, orang Melayu datang ketuk buat lubang sana, ketuk buat aircon sini kan. So MRT pun macam tu. Line 1 lah, line 2 saya rasa dia improve kot. It happen. Okay, so whatever technology, please kena jangan update yourself lah.
So do you strongly believe that IR 4.0 ni will be successfully implemented lah dalam kita dalam industri ni?
Saya believe yes. Kalau ada commitment from the government dan juga the client lah. Kalau client nak benda tu jadi, kontraktor ni dia follow je. Kalau klien kata tak perlu, dia pun tak buat lah. Kan kalau kita tengok MRT dia pakai sistem apa? Saya tak ingat lah sistem submission system tu through apa? The internet tu kan. Through apa panggil apa?
Connect team binder.
Dia connect team binding semua. Dia pakai the sistem tu. Tapi bila kita at the end of the project habis, dia kata, can you submit us the hard copy? Dah. So you have the system, you have everything. Tapi the old people tu masih dia tak perhati. Dia kata tengoklah dalam sistem, cannot find dia kata. So kalau you ada sistem tapi you tak pandai pakai, tak guna juga kan. Contohnya sekarang gambar, you ambil banyak gambar you dengan phone. Lepas tu dah habis bulan you delete. Lepas tu you harap Facebook tu yang masuk Facebook tu yang remind you balik, ada gambar ni. So saya tak tahu, gambar saya memang hilang habis lah, saya tak tahu. So yang ada gambar lama-lama yang dulu kita print aja. Tetapi sekarang nak print pun tak boleh, kedai gambar pun tak ada dah. Okay, how you save dalam komputer. Lepas you save dalam komputer pula corrupted, habis gambar hilang. So tak tahulah macam nak simpan. So kita harap Facebook simpan lagi kita punya gambar. Ada lagi lah apa ni selain Facebook, Instagram pun simpan lah.
Instagram ya.
So, nak panggil balik saya tak tahu macam mana. Okey? Ada lagi soalan?
Ada sikit lagi. Stress. Kita pendekkan cerita dia. Stress. Okey. Bila project manager tak dapat, kita be stress lah in the project, in personal life semua. When you yourself as a project manager back then, how you keep up your momentum while managing your stress? Bila kerja dah banyak, tapi you just to continue not to feel burnt out, and of course to drive you more. How you manage your stress?
You prioritize your work. You have to prioritize your work. Which one is priority? You have to delegate. Kalau you semua you ambil, then that's it. You akan ni kan. Stress is okay. Stress, look at the positive way lah, still okay lah. Bukan teruk sangat lah. Everybody pun kita stress. Kita go drive kereta dalam jam pun stress juga. Kan? So kalau you stress, you dengar lagu. Kan? Sekarang stress drive kereta tak kena jam, okay dah. Pasal you boleh main WhatsApp kan?
Yep.
Betul tak? Kadang kenapa tak jam? Pasal you nak jawab WhatsApp. You pula tunggu jam. Sebab tu, you tengok kat traffic light ada orang horn kat belakang kan? Pasal you tengok merah tu, you terus pegang telefon. So how you manage your stress aja sebenarnya. It's not. So tengok the way how you manage it. Kalau dalam tu saya tengok is you prioritizekan the thing dulu. You tulis yang mana prioritas, yang mana penting, yang urgent, and then delegate lah. Delegatekan the thing, you have the thing, you delegatekan the thing. You manage lah. Okay?
Ya, itu yang belah sebab nak tulis. Nanti I contact tu Hafiz lah.
Okay, the last maybe short and clear lah. Do you have any access on the performance of project manager? I mean ada access lah untuk kita nak tahu performance project manager tu.
So of course we
Assessment
have assessment kita ada.
Yeah.
Assessment kita ada formal and informal lah assessment. Formal kita buat ni macam yearly. Tapi it doesn't limit us yearly lah. Kita boleh buat 6 month pun boleh, tak ada masalah. So that one is a standard formal punya, kita call it is appraisal lah. So we have that one to manage not only project manager, everybody lah. Informal one ialah bila kita membawang lah. Kita membawang tu informal one. So yes, it's good. Maksudnya kita menceritakan apa yang tak betul of the other guy. Bukan kita nak ni, tapi kita nak membetulkan. Bila kita get second opinion kan, kan kita kata, oh how to handle this one, okay you handle macam ni. Okay, so kita balik, kita betulkan. Kalau kita nak fikir kepala otak kita aja, then sometimes it's not true. Right. Kita tak berkembang. Kita go and ask, I have a problem with my staff macam ni. How do I handle this thing? Boleh jadi betul tak boleh betul, you have to judge lah kata you yang nak cakap. Okay, yang appraisal formal tu is very difficult kan. Setengah orang tak nak buat. Bukan macam tu formal. Kalau informal ni shock sikit. Kan, right. Sambil-sambil ngopi tu hilangkan stres. Lama ngopi hilang stres. Lupa je. Tapi kopi kena kopi mahal sikit lah. Kalau kopi murah, dia tak hilang stres. You have to be Starbucks punya type of coffee lah. Kalau you drink coffee kan.
Right. Okay. If the performance is not meet the requirement of company, they have any training or exercise to improve the project manager?
Yes, we sentiasa ada ruang untuk ni lah.
Peluang.
So ruang dan peluang lah kan untuk kita improvekan kita punya project manager. But through the formal tu kita like re-interview balik dia. So kita find out apa yang dia nak, kat mana kelemahan dia, dan can they improve, can she or he improve kan. We have to guide lah. Kita bukan tujuan kita buat assessment tu untuk nak buang orang kan. Kita nak make sure kita train dia balik, retrain balik dekat mana-mana dia punya weakness lah. That is the objective. Again, that is formal lah. Kalau informal kita tak payah tunggu setahun tu lama. So from time to time somebody, contohnya the boss ke, the project director of the project ke, or the general manager of project kan akan sentiasa cakap through WhatsApp ke, have you done this? To remind balik, have you done this? You should do this kan. That is kind of coaching lah. So orang tu kena, the project manager tu mesti ambil tu and learn from there lah kan. Jangan ambil the hard way, the hard way of ni lah. Jangan terasa lah lebih kurang. Okay.
Okay, the last and but not least, what is your hope and vision for the upcoming project manager?
Oh, kalau you talking about tu, of course, kalau kita nak project manager ni, saya nak project manager yang hopefully the project manager yang dedicated lah, dedicated and commitment dia very high, dan dia fokus. Dia really fokus. And also dia mesti selalunya tak tahulah dengan TRC ni lah. Project manager tu dia accountable for something. Okay, mesti accountable for something. Tapi kadang-kadang dia authorized lah. You have to be authorized first before you are accountable kan. So yang tu kena balance lah. It's not fair to project manager, dia tak authorized untuk do certain thing tapi dia accountable for that one. Kan? You contohnya apa contoh nak bagi? You sepatutnya you control your team. You boleh select what your team want kan. Instead of orang lain bagi kat you, orang tu tak perform, you kena. Jangan you kata I don't want this guy, I want somebody ni, yang ni I dah try 3 bulan dia tak bagus, I want to transfer him out. Kan? Oh tak boleh, we have to train him. Dia tak boleh. So bila tak boleh, at the end, bila this one tak perform, you kena. So for me it's not fair lah. In the term. Sama juga in term of how to handle the money, kan? Kalau kita ambil on the small scale, kita dalam TRC ni kita ada PT cash, kan? Kata dah saya authorize ke project manager, you 5,000, you can spend that money using your cash ni 5,000 you punya limit, kan? So how they spend it? Kalau you dah authorize dia, whatever dia buat tu, kita kena setujulah, kena acknowledge lah. As long as dia tak beli kata 5,000 tu, dia beli motor sebiji. So tak boleh lah kan, maknanya dia dah salah guna kuasa dah tu, kan? Dia gunakan beli bayar bil, bayar elektrik, bayar apa tu, makan sikit. It's okay lah. Tapi kalau you ni makan sampai 300 ni, apa ni? So dia dah tak, then you bagi saya 5,000 atau 3,000. Tapi I guna untuk ni, untuk saya build my soft skill ni, dia marah saya. So sekarang authorize ke tak ni? Authorize tapi tak authorize. Kan? Benda-benda macam tu lah. So if any of this issue ni, so project manager kena voice up lah. Dia berlaku. Okay? Ada lagi?
Okay, guys. That's
Okay,
all.
since kita pun dah 4:32, sharp abang 1 jam setengah. Okay, thank you so much Haji for your time, for your knowledge that you share. It's very inspiring. Buka minda kami, orang-orang muda.
Okay.
Future project manager. Okay, hopefully information yang Haji bagi ni kalau boleh gunakan sepenuhnya sebaik mungkin. Not only in our study, presentation kami, tapi juga in real life lah. A lot of stories that you share, mind opening lah actually. To see things from different perspective and view lah. Thank you so much Haji from me, myself, Arif.
Right. I think that's all. Thank you, Haji.
Okay, thank you.
Okay,
Glad
thank
to
you.
share my experience with you lah. Alright, bye.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Assalamualaikum.
Assalamualaikum. Dah keluar.